The best way to get a successful pricing setup is to break things down in very bite-sized pieces. For example, let's put up some cabinets that we know what the square footage or the size of the cabinet is. So I can click on Add Wall, just drag a wall up. We're going to put a simple top cabinet up. Let's just make it 12 inches wide by 12 inches high, which is 1 square foot. We know that. Or 1 lineal foot, however we want to do this. Let's go to Base Units. We'll go to a standard base cabinet. Let's make it 24 wide by 24 high. Now all we're doing is we know that that's 4 square feet. This is 1 square foot. That way when we go to look at our pricing and we're doing a footage, let's say, pricing method, we can look at our pricing to make sure it's working the way we want it to. So if we go to Price and I go to my oak pricing, and I just want to see what these 2 cabinets are coming out as, I could just click Calculate, and I'd see a price here. The top cabinet's coming out $178, and this is coming out $728. Now, what I would do is, the $728 one is the base cabinet. I'd make a note of that, and the $178 one is the top. Now what I would do is I would just come in here, click on it, click Edit, and say to myself, why is it coming out that size? Well, under General, we can go to General Setup. When we were originally setting this up, we had a choice of doing it by material and labor or by the foot cost. Right now, it's currently set to number 2, by the foot cost. Well, if I want to go right to my base cabinets, I just come to Base Cabinets, and I look at it, and I notice that my foot cost for a standard base should be $150. Well, 4 times 150 isn't $713. It's actually $600. So what's going on? Well, the best way to manage KCDW is to separate things. And the way you do that is by going to the different sections and making sure under, for example, drawer setup, that do you want to include drawer box costs with your cabinet? Say no. If it's separate, it's a lot easier to understand what's going on. Include your drawer guide cost? No, we don't want to include that with the cabinet, and we want to just make sure everything else is, to figure the price of your drawer guides to be a fixed amount, that's fine. We'll go to doors here. We go to door setup. Notice it says, do you want to include door costs with your cabinet? I'm going to say no. Alright? Now, once again, I didn't go through all the areas, but if I were to go check this, we'd see that the price would be greatly reduced. Now, there is a couple other areas you want to be aware of. For example, cabinets. In the cabinet setup, there's an area here where there's additional charges. And right now, it's set for $1 additional per foot of adjustable shelf. Well, we should put that to 0. Additional square foot charge for finish sides. We should go over here and set that to 0. Knobs or handles we haven't even put on the cabinet, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. Now, when I come back here and I close, the program automatically saves that. I can click on the oak and calculate. That unit should come out $600, and if you notice, it does. Notice the top cabinet came out $150. Let's see if that's correct. Click on this, and don't believe anything until you've checked it. So we come up to cabinets, we go to wall cabinets. Well, notice, $150, right? It's 1 square foot. That's what it came out. Therefore, we're understanding what's actually happening. Now, I should also point out that this one has been set to lineal foot. So it is different. You could find that if it got to be more footage, and we thought it was set for square foot, well, it isn't. It's set for lineal. So if we wanted square foot, we do need to click that here. So once again, it will do exactly what we tell it to do. But if we're not checking ourselves or understand where the changes are being made, it's kind of hard to set it up. So once we've set these things up, now when we go to do the true pricing on it, and we click on this, and let's just do a contract and calculate, this is going to show it in a different format. Well, it's going to also give us all our other subtotals, but it does still break down the $600 base cabinet cost and the $150 top cabinet. But notice we have a charge for total door and drawer front cost, drawer box cost, and drawer guide cost. Now, it would always be easier to make sure that we only had one cabinet up at a time if we're trying to figure out what our doors are pricing out as. For example, we have an arch raised panel door here that's 1 square foot, or approximately. We can drag down here, drag that in the trash bin. We could double click on that. And I'm just going to cancel, go to doors. And let's go to change all doors. Let's make it a square raised panel. Click OK. Go to pricing. Now when we want to look at that, we'll do countertops, contract, and we're just going to run that. You're going to notice that the door cost is $24.79. Well, we can go in here, back to our pricing, and edit, go to doors, come down to the square door that we put up, the square raised panel, and we could do the math. Okay, it's $10 a square foot plus $15. Well, we thought it was 1 square foot of door, when in reality, if we looked at it, we'll close this, we have a dimension level for door size. It's really 11 7/8 by 11 7/8, and we would find that the calculation is correct. This is just one of the many ways that you can set up your pricing successfully and use these tools, do little bite-sized pieces, and I think you'll find you're very successful in the long run.